So, I've arrived in Zion National Park. Actually, I left you in Death Valley, didn't I? And I arrived in Zion in the dark. Well, I've been here for 2 days since then, shooting a video for Wex. So, go over to their channel and check that out. I don't definitely know that it's on yet. I'm kind of a bit confused with all my time schedules. So I don't know where I am. I don't know what time this video is going out, and I don't know what time Wex videos are going out. But if it's on their channel, I'll stick a link here. If it's not, just, I don't know, keep an eye on my channel, subscribe to their channel, and you'll see it. But that's their video's finished now, so I have a day or two in Zion to explore, roam, and hopefully get an image or two. And it's funny because I was in Zion about a year and a half ago, autumn 2016, and I was blown away by the place. And I think I stated it was my favourite location I've ever been to shoot. And having come back now in the winter time, I still stand by that statement, but for different reasons. I think this last couple of days has been a challenge, been a real challenge. And it's bizarre because you're probably watching this video saying, why aren't you shooting those huge canyon walls behind you, and oh, it's epic scenery. And Zion isn't like that. Zion isn't one of those locations that you know, yes, there are a couple of classic viewpoints, but I don't fancy those, to be honest, because I don't think you can get anything unique. Zion's one of those places that is so breathtaking to wander and explore and just to be in. So having a camera is a great excuse to be out all day walking and exploring. So in that sense, it's so good. I mean, listen, it's so peaceful. There's no one here. The weather's been so calm, and it's just a gorgeous place to be. But from a photographic standpoint, it's very difficult. It's a funny old place. You don't really shoot sunrise and sunset. It's kind of like, it's like photography world flipped upside down. The best shooting times are like middle of the day because of all the reflected light bouncing off the canyon walls. And that light lends itself to the intimate landscape, which is bizarre because you're in this magnificent, grand environment with thousands of feet of sandstone wall towering above you. But it's funny, you don't photograph that, or at least I'm not. You photograph the tiny little intricate scenes by your feet, and those grand canyon walls act as a giant warm softbox, giving amazing light. And sometimes they can serve as a nice backdrop as well. So yeah, I've never worked so hard as I've worked in the past 2 days trying to shoot this video for Wex. Taking images, finding images, it's hard. And I think that will continue. So expect a struggle over the next couple of videos. Anyway, I'm waffling on a bit. So I'm going to keep walking for the next few miles and just see if I can find myself a nice competition? A nice composition to make use of that gorgeous reflected light as it bounces off the bright orange sandstone walls. So I thought I should explain my thought process, because it may just look like I am aimlessly wandering, which I sort of am, but when I'm walking like this in an area I'm unfamiliar with, I'm not looking for a photograph to jump out at me, although it's nice when that does happen. But what I'm looking for is an interesting subject. A nice tree, a fallen tree, some textures, shapes, patterns, some nice light. Anything really that catches my eye. And then once I find that subject, I explore that subject and see if I can work it into a composition and get across in a photograph what it is that caught my attention about that subject. I don't know, could be anything. Could be the texture of the bark, the shape, who knows. So that's it. Start at the bottom, work your way up. I'm not looking for a photograph, I'm looking for a subject, something that interests me. Yeah, still not found anything. So I'll keep searching. still not found anything. I spotted this tree here from across the other side of the river. It looked like it had potential from over there, but as I came closer and approached the tree, I don't know, as you get closer to it, you kind of lose the separation between the tree and the background. It's a lovely golden brown colour, but you lose it with the golden brown of the canyon walls. I think from across the river I was at a higher vantage point, so maybe that's why it looked better, I don't know. But I did see a deer, which was really nice. I think, yeah, just another reason for Zion to be just slightly higher in the photographic locations. It's a funny one because of all the times not to find a photograph, like this is probably one of the best times because everything else is so perfect. Yeah. I will continue hiking and I will continue striving to find a composition to use this reflected light because it is just gorgeous. Lots of potential, just I haven't quite found the right thing yet, so we'll keep going. So I finally found a composition after miles and miles of walking, and it's this gorgeous scene with these reeds that are really catching the reflected light off the bright orange canyon wall all around us. The sunlight's hitting that orange sandstone and it's bouncing onto the scene. Yeah, it was a struggle because the sunlight's just starting to come over the canyon, so time was of the essence. I had to shoot this so fast because as soon as the light crept over the top of the canyon, then that's it, the image was gone. I anticipated while setting up that I had about 3 minutes to shoot this scene. So it was a bit of a rush, which is really frustrating because one of the joys of Zion is that you can really take your time. Yeah. But what drew me to the composition was the relationship between the reeds, the winter cottonwood trees in the middle, if you will, the middle ground, reeds in the foreground, and the big canyon wall in the background that was still in shade, but you could see light starting to creep through, which kind of had a cool effect. And yeah, it was just gorgeous. But for me, it was about those golden reeds in that lovely reflected light. It was just perfect. And that was the first composition I'd seen after hours of hiking. And it's funny that I found that composition at the very last second before the light would have come over the mountain or the canyon wall and completely ruined the shot for this morning. So I don't know what to think about that. Technically I shot the image at ISO 400 because it's windy. Don't know if you can hear the wind noise, but it is windy and those reeds are swaying in the wind. I think I'm happy with the image, and it's taken me a long time to find it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed every minute of it, but it's a shame I found it at the very last second. Anyway, I am waffling on again. I think today's a bit of a waffle day. So, yeah, time for lunch. Time for some lunch. You know, sometimes photography is not all about tripods and filters and planning. Sometimes You're just out for a walk and you see a shot and you just want to grab it. It really can be as easy as that. Back to my Pringles. So I've just realised that by the time this video goes out, I should have hit 200,000 subscribers. If not, then this is going to be a bit awkward. But yeah, it's crazy. 200,000. And half the time I don't even get a good shot. So, to all who have subscribed from day one up until this very day, thank you very much. I'm going to celebrate 200,000 subscribers by eating more Pringles than I probably should. So I don't think we've been formally introduced. This is Hat, and Hat will be joining me on those hot summer days. And it definitely feels like one of those today. This afternoon I've headed to another area of the park, into the canyons and the washes and all this kind of chaotic area. I was here last autumn and really enjoyed it. You know, it's very difficult, it's a challenge. It's certainly, you know, there's never an obvious shot, there's never a grand vista. It's all about intimate landscapes, looking down at the ground, using the reflected light, bouncing off the red canyon walls. Yeah, so it's difficult, it's really difficult, especially in winter, because autumn you have all of the lovely colours, but there's not much colour around, although surprisingly there is still some. Anyway, I'm just having a break. I've been walking for quite a long time today, so I'm just having some lunch, and then I'm going to continue to wander through these canyons and see if I can find a nice image. Yeah, if not, no biggie. This is quite a pleasant way to spend the afternoon. So, interesting, or not so interesting fact, but pretty much where I'm standing now is where I took my first ever image in Zion, and my first image with the 5D Mark IV. And it was of this old shrubby bush. Looks awful now. It looks terrible, but it was nice in autumn. Ah, memories. I'll link to the video here if you're interested in watching that. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. Who is this guy? Sure I recognise that hat and that walk. It is, it's the one and only Mr. Ben Horn.
There's not many with my name.
You find anything good?
Not today.
No.
I think I'm good. I think I'm done.
So that was Ben Horn. If you don't know Ben, check out his channel just here. He does really good stuff. Yeah, just a nice chat. And he's gone off on his way, and I'm now going to try and find a very, very intimate, detailed shot. Fingers crossed. After
being on my feet all day and hiking the canyons for miles and miles, I'd kind of lost inspiration and I was unable to find an intimate composition that I was happy with, so I decided to leave. But I wasn't worried because I knew that the next morning I would have amazing light and should be able to capture something special. Unfortunately, I was mistaken. I opted for a roadside composition. The light was washed out and diffused by high clouds, and by now I was just feeling tired and, to be honest, a little bit like a failure. When you're in a place like Zion National Park, surrounded by such immense beauty, it can be a really difficult pill to swallow when you're not making images, and this can make even the experienced photographer feel down.
Wow, that was a bit of a depressing voiceover, wasn't it? But yeah, this morning I didn't feel good. I felt burnt out and missing my wife. But since then, I've had a shower, had some nice food, a coffee, fixed my website because my website's been down for a few days. That's been stressful. So yeah, things are looking up. And do you know what really did it for me? The magic hat. Always feel better with the magic hat. The new edition. Anyway, it's 1:45 in the afternoon and it's my last afternoon here in Zion National Park. And the way the clouds are at the moment, it looks like we are set for a colourful sunset. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scour the park and just see if I can find a composition to make use of what will hopefully be a colourful sky. But yeah, I'm going to go. Let's go. Have a look around. So as I'm feeling much better about myself this afternoon, I've decided to go for a hike. And I'm going on a good old schleb up to Observation Point for sunset. I don't actually know if I'm going to make it all the way up to the top of the trail, but I'm just enjoying the walk because the views are phenomenal. Obviously I've got the camera, as you can see there, and I have no idea if this is a suitable hike for a sunset photograph or not. But you know, I'm just forgetting about photography for the time being and enjoying the hike. So, a bit of a change of plans. I was heading up to Observation Point, but there were so many people making their way up there. And the trail was really busy and everyone's obviously going for sunset. So I got about, I don't know, maybe a quarter of the way up. Whoa. And saw a sign saying Hidden Canyon. And I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. So I followed the sign, and would you believe it? I'm in a canyon. And it's just awesome. Don't know if there's going to be a photograph. I'll be honest with you, at this point I don't care. There's probably better times of the day to come here for a photograph, but I'm just having fun scrambling around, exploring, and making my way down the Hidden Canyon.
This morning has so clear a light as any to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that it was is a wreck.
Well guys, I'm calling it. I think there's going to be no more photography in Zion. But I'm not craving it. I don't feel disappointed. I've worked so hard this week in Death Valley and in Zion. And that's what it's all about. Hiking, exploring, being outdoors, searching for those images. I've had a whale of a time. And I've finished it off with an awesome hike and an amazing view here. I'm just going to sit here for a few minutes, enjoy the peace and quiet, head back to camp, and then back home tomorrow. Back home to January in the north of England. It's gonna be a world away from this. But I love it. Right, until next time, bye for now. Okay, I take back what I said. It might not be over.
Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, if something's gotta give today.
Okay, so I got carried away in the moment, I think. It must be the hat. I was just walking back to the car. I saw the potential in the sky with those lovely high clouds. And I thought, I'll wander down to the river and see if there's a composition. And then I spotted a composition, but it was across the other side of the river. And I promised myself I wasn't crossing any more rivers today because it's so cold, it's icy cold. But I couldn't resist, so here I am in the middle of a river, hoping, waiting, and praying that this sky catches fire. My composition's nice, I don't know, it's just 16 mil, big canyon walls, hopefully a colourful sky. You know, I don't know. The moment got me, so we'll see, we'll see. Well, unfortunately, nothing materialised from that. The sky just faded to white and then to nothing. But you know, I'm wet, I'm cold, I'm dirty, and I wouldn't change it for the world. The best way I can describe it is, I was thinking, you know when you're a kid and you used to play out, you used to go out with your friends and just play out of an evening, and you'd get cold, dirty, wet, you'd run around in rivers, build swings, build dens. That's kind of what it feels like. Dashing into the middle of a river to try and get a photograph. Felt just like playing out as a little kid. So that's me, definitely done. So until next time, bye for now.